The afternoon sun blazed overhead as a woman walked toward the grand entrance of the luxurious Royal Crest Hotel. Her name wasn't important. What mattered was the way she carried herself, quiet and unassuming, dressed in simple, well-worn clothes. A faded blue dress, a pair of comfortable sandals, and a small, slightly frayed bag hung over her shoulder. She looked like someone who had spent years living modestly, far from the glittering world of five-star hotels. As she stepped inside, the cool air of the lobby wrapped around her. The marble floors gleamed under crystal chandeliers, and the staff moved with practiced grace, attending to guests dressed in designer suits and sparkling jewelry. The woman approached the front desk, her steps light but confident. Behind the counter, a young receptionist glanced up, his eyes scanning her from head to toe. His polite smile faltered for just a second, a flicker of hesitation. Then, it returned, tighter this time. "Good afternoon," the woman said softly. "I have a reservation." The receptionist's fingers hovered over the keyboard. "Name, please?" She gave it, watching as he typed. His expression shifted slightly, confusion, then something else. Doubt. After a moment, he cleared his throat. "I'm sorry, ma'am, but I don't see any reservation under that name." She blinked. "That's impossible. I booked it weeks ago." He hesitated, then leaned forward slightly, lowering his voice as if sharing a secret. "Ma'am, are you sure this is the right hotel? Perhaps you meant one of the other hotels nearby?" The way he said it, the slight emphasis on other, made her stomach tighten. She knew what he meant. The cheaper places, the ones where people like her belonged. She kept her voice steady. "No, this is the right place. Could you check again?" The receptionist sighed, as if she were wasting his time. He typed again, slower this time, then shook his head. "Nothing here. Maybe there was a mistake. But..." He hesitated, then added, "Even if there was a reservation, we have a dress code for guests. It's a very exclusive establishment." The woman's fingers curled slightly at her sides. She wasn't angry, not yet. But she understood what was happening. Before she could respond, a sharp voice cut in from behind her. "Is there a problem here?" A tall, elegantly dressed manager had appeared, his polished shoes clicking against the marble. His eyes swept over the woman, lingering just a second too long on her clothes. The receptionist straightened. "This woman claims she has a reservation, sir, but I can't find it." The manager's lips thinned. "Ma'am, unless you can provide proof of your booking, I'm afraid we can't accommodate you." She opened her mouth to argue, but then stopped. Because at that very moment, the lobby doors swung open. And he walked in. The billionaire husband. The moment the billionaire stepped into the lobby, the air shifted. He wasn't flashy, no loud suits or entourage, but his presence commanded attention. His sharp eyes locked onto his wife, then flicked to the manager. "Darling," he said, voice calm but firm, "is everything all right?" The woman smiled softly. "They can't find our reservation." The manager's face paled. He recognized the man instantly, photos in Forbes, whispers in elite circles. This was him. The receptionist stammered, "Yes sir, there must have been a misunderstanding." The billionaire cut in, tone icy. "You turned my wife away?" Silence. The staff exchanged panicked glances. The manager swallowed hard. We didn't realize." "Realize what?" The billionaire's voice stayed low, but the edge was unmistakable. "That she's my wife? Or that judging people by their clothes is disgraceful?" The lobby had gone still. Other guests watched, murmuring. The woman touched her husband's arm. "Let's just go." He hesitated, then nodded. But before leaving, he turned back. "You lost more than a guest today. You lost your integrity." As they walked out, the staff stood frozen, regret written on their faces. Outside, the billionaire sighed. "I'm sorry you had to deal with that." She squeezed his hand. "Their loss. Now, where's that cozy inn you promised?" He laughed, tension melting. "Right this way." Back at the hotel, panic set in. The manager rushed to the computer, frantically searching the system, only to find the reservation had been there all along. His stomach dropped. "How could we miss this?" he muttered, wiping his brow. The receptionist, still shaken, whispered, "Do you think he'll complain? Leave a bad review?" The manager shot him a sharp look. "Worse. He could tell everyone." Meanwhile, the billionaire and his wife arrived at a charming little inn just outside the city. No marble floors or chandeliers, just warm lights, wooden beams, and a friendly owner who greeted them like family. As they settled in, the wife chuckled. "Honestly, I prefer this place. No snobbery, just good people." Her husband smiled, but his phone buzzed relentlessly, calls from unknown numbers. Finally, he answered. It was the hotel's furious owner. "What happened?" The billionaire listened as the man spewed apologies, offering free stays, upgrades, anything to fix this. He glanced at his wife, who shook her head with a quiet laugh. "Too late," he said simply, and hung up. Back at the Royal Crest, staff scrambled to do damage control. But the real blow came the next morning, when a famous blogger tagged them in a post titled, "How a Luxury Hotel Lost Its Best Customer Over a Faded Dress." The blogger's post exploded overnight. Shares, comments, and outraged hashtags flooded social media. By morning, #RoyalCrestShame was trending. Inside the hotel's corporate office, executives held an emergency meeting. "We need to fix this now," the CEO barked. "Find that woman and apologize, publicly." Meanwhile, the billionaire and his wife enjoyed a peaceful breakfast at the inn, oblivious to the chaos. The innkeeper, an older woman with kind eyes, brought them fresh pastries. On the house, she winked. "You're our most famous guests now." Confused, the wife checked her phone, and gasped. "Love, look at this." Dozens of messages poured in from strangers applauding her grace under pressure. A news outlet even requested an interview. The billionaire sighed. "I never wanted this attention for you." She squeezed his hand. "Maybe it's not about us. Maybe it's about holding them accountable." Just then, a call came, the hotel's CEO himself, voice trembling. "We'll do anything to make this right. Name your terms." The couple exchanged a look. The wife took the phone. "Here's what you'll do." The CEO held his breath as the wife spoke. "Train your staff to treat every guest with respect," she said firmly. "No more judging by appearances. And donate a month's profits to shelters for women in need." Silence. Then, "Done. But please, consider letting us host you properly. No cameras, no fuss. Just our sincerest apology." She looked at her husband, who nodded. "One night," she agreed. To see if lessons were truly learned. The next evening, they returned to the Royal Crest. This time, staff greeted them with genuine warmth, no sideways glances. The same receptionist who'd rejected her now fought back tears as he handed her the keycard. "I'm so sorry, ma'am." She smiled. "People can change. That's what matters." At dinner, the manager personally served their meal. "We've implemented new training," he admitted. "Turns out, we were the ones who didn't belong to basic human decency." As they retired to their suite, the billionaire chuckled. "You handled that better than I ever could." She gazed at the city lights through their window. Money can't buy humility, but maybe this taught them how to earn it. Downstairs, the staff gathered, quietly discussing the day they'd almost lost everything, to a faded blue dress. 3 months later, the Royal Crest Hotel buzzed with new energy. The billionaire's wife had kept tabs, not out of spite, but quiet curiosity. Online reviews now praised the staff's warmth. The same blogger who'd exposed them posted an update, from snobbery to service, how one couple changed everything. One rainy afternoon, the wife returned alone, wearing the same faded dress. The receptionist's face lit up. "Welcome back, ma'am." No hesitation, no judgment. Just kindness. She toured the lobby, noticing subtle changes. A sign read, "All guests deserve dignity," in employee areas. The manager rushed over, beaming. "Our shelter donations fed 300 women last month." Upstairs, housekeepers, now paid higher wages, greeted her warmly. One whispered, "After your story went viral, corporate finally listened to us too." At checkout, she left an envelope. Inside? A note and a generous tip for the staff. True luxury isn't in crystal chandeliers, it's in how you make people feel. As she walked out, the doorman smiled. "Hope we'll see you again." She paused at the doors, glancing back at the transformed lobby. "Count on it." Word of the hotel's transformation spread. A rival luxury chain sent undercover guests, some dressed modestly, others flashing wealth, testing if the change was real. Each left impressed, their reports noting, staff treated everyone equally, with genuine care. The billionaire's wife watched with quiet pride. One evening, her husband handed her a letter. "It's from the hotel staff, not management." The handwritten note read, "You saw our worth when we didn't. Now we run a program training others in true hospitality. Will you speak at our first event?" Touched, she agreed. The morning of her speech, nervous employees filled the ballroom. She stepped up, still in her simple dress, and smiled. "Months ago, I walked in feeling invisible. Today, I see people who've chosen to see others. That's not just good business, it's humanity." As applause erupted, the original receptionist approached, eyes shining. "Because of you, I got promoted. I train teams now to..." His voice cracked. "To look beyond appearances." Later, as she left, a young maid stopped her. "My mom's at the shelter your donation helped. She's getting back on her feet because of you." The wife hugged her tightly, whispering, "No, because of people choosing to do better." 5 years later, the faded blue dress hung framed in the Royal Crest lobby, now dubbed the Kindness Wing. What began as one couple's stand had sparked a global hospitality movement. The wife, now a sought-after consultant, sat in a cafe opposite the nervous CEO of a struggling airline. "Our staff judges passengers by class," he admitted. "Can you help us change?" She slid across her card. "Start by flying your team coach. Let them feel how it matters." Back at home, her husband smiled at news footage of their old hotel winning a World's Most Inclusive award. The manager, now promoted, told reporters, "We keep one empty suite reserved, for anyone who needs it, no questions asked." That evening, as they strolled past the hotel, the doorman waved. "Your usual suite's ready if you'd like to stay." She laughed. "Maybe next time." Arm in arm with her billionaire, she realized true wealth wasn't in accounts or accolades, but in quiet moments like this, where a simple act of dignity had rippled farther than any fortune ever could. And somewhere, another woman in a worn-out dress walked into a luxury lobby. And was seen.